A primary difference between chirology and palmistry is the system that we use to interpret hands. In chirology, we use a 5-element system, and today we're going to deepen into how that works. Hi, if you don't know me, my name's Jennifer. I'm a Johannesburg-based chirology and palmistry practitioner, teacher, and author, and welcome to my channel. Central to chirology's 5-element system is a concept called the principle of graduated materiality, and this very briefly describes how the elements manifest from the most dense to the most refined. And I did cover it a little bit in the previous video. Today, though, we're going to be just deepening into the earth element and how it is that this concept of earth really provides the very core, the foundation, the infrastructure of the work of the hand reader. In chirology, the earth element represents the formation, the structure, the context around which we're working. And if you have a look at this illustration, you'll see that it's depicted as a square and that the color is orange. I must mention also that this particular illustration has no bearing on the chakras, so we don't get confused. What we're doing here is we're depicting the elements as a representative of that of which we are composed, since we are composed of earth, water, fire, air, and chi. Earth element represents everything that is physical, and our primary principle here is I matter. I'm composed of matter, and I matter in terms of my physical manifestation. But then moving now into the language of the elements in the way that we actually interpret the hands, we see that earth has very scientific principles associated with it, such as tangibility, continuity, dependability, reliability, and so on. And we start to map what we know about the element over onto the human characteristics and qualities. And these would be based primarily as a starting point on the shape of the hand. Through all of hand reading, it's generally agreed that the hand shape gives us our point of departure. That's where we begin to analyze a set of hands. And this is what the earth hand shape looks like. It has a square palm with fingers that are short in relation to the length of the palm. In the element system of interpreting, we not only are looking at the earth shape of the hand, but also the skin. We have an earth skin texture. We have various lines that are governed by earth. We have various dermatoglyphic patterns, fingerprint patterns, as well as palmar patterns that are governed by earth. There is an earth finger. There are earth-shaped nails, and so on. So each and every feature of the hand is governed by one or another of the elements. Intrinsic to chirology is the language of the elements, and the language of the elements is all about the principles and the characteristics of the elements as we know them in nature. So looking now a little bit deeper into earth, we see that it, as we've already mentioned, it is solid, it's dependable, it's also that which continues, it has to do with a density, it has to do with a resistance to change. For example, also earth in nature is the only element that doesn't move unless you move it. So we might map that concept over onto the earth person and see that they don't like change, they're perhaps very risk averse and so on. So there's this whole language, and there are lists and lists of words that go with the earth element that describe the person, both redeemed or the positive and the so-called unredeemed or the less fabulous about that person. So an earthy person might be, for example, very kind, very nurturing. Think of what the earth does in the soil, the way it nurtures the seed, the way there's a kindness to Mother Earth. But then on the flip side of that, we might have concepts of or ideas or personality traits of greed, of lecherousness, of stubbornness, and so on. And this is a whole conversation in itself. You know, the earth element is a study. It's not something that you can just learn instantly. But once you get your teeth into it, it's amazing how much of it lands. It's as if we have this innate understanding of this earth element in ourselves, in others, and that makes it that much easier for us to learn how to read hands. Very important too in the 5-element system of hand reading is what we call the 5-realm model. And this 5-realm model describes how to counsel and coach within the hand reading context. And in the earth level of the 5 realms, we have that which pertains to the physical. And this covers your health, your family life, your home life, and your financial affairs. So it gives a very thorough directive as to what to address with a person in the earth level, in the earth realm, so to speak. And let's talk about a few more things that would add into the earth level or earth realm of hand reading. For example, your ethical criteria, how honest you are, how humble you are as a hand reader, how well you keep your records. One always needs to have systematic record keeping and to be responsible and accountable in that regard. There's also the question of your scientific research. This is also a necessary fundamental for any hand reader who perhaps wants to learn. You need to know a little bit about the history of hand reading and so on. So we're really looking at everything that's in the foundation, the basic stable qualities of what maketh a good hand reader. And lastly, a discussion about the earth realm or the earth level of chirology would not be complete without mention of touch. How fascinating it is that in the old palmistry books there's no mention whatsoever of the so key component of our work, which is touching another person. And those of you who are trained in Reiki or any of the other healing systems, channeling systems, will know well the power of touch and the courage in a way that it also takes to reach out and touch another person's hands. But it's that physical contact that we could say is governed by the earth element. That's it for today. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And in the next video, I'll be talking to you about the next layer in the principle of graduated materiality, and that is the element of water. Bye for now.